because the theme for today, and I can copy and paste it in from the Telegram. The theme for today is going to be a vault dive, and part of the purpose of the vault dive, which I dropped under the stream of consciousness, if you want to kind of read through it, but we did a call where we were beyond the ice wall, essentially. And beyond the ice wall, we ran into three new councils of beings that were beyond the ice wall. I think it was like Vincent brought through, I don't know, Vincent, do you have a name for them? There's no other real way to put a name to them other than they're associated with, and they're going to be assisting today with the vault vibes. Clearly, they're like 2D kind of goblin looking. They're flat, so they are like on the walls of the cave, is what I'm seeing them. Typically cast by a shadow, but
yeah, they're beings that like move through the through rock itself in a two-dimensional way. Most people had like thought of them as like goblins because they would be mining, and then they would see an image in the wall, and then it would disappear because that's like it would be like a little bit of a shimmer of light, but like they don't really like to be called goblins. Like they're and they're like they really don't have a language that like is translatable. It's like when they move through the rock, they make a little bit of a noise, and they only like they touch and move past each other, and that's how they like. There's multiples of these beings, and when they're together, they create light in the rock, and they're like they work with the mineral kingdom like exclusively, like in a way, but they wanted to bring themselves forward as like that and kind of give us, they just gave me more of a feelings of that they weren't, they showed me a picture of a goblin that like I had from in my memory, but then they showed me themselves as like beings that just move through rock, and they present themselves in caves, lava tubes, anywhere there's areas. I mean, they don't need to breathe or whatever, so they've been a part of Earth for like since her beginning as part of like the beings that help move lava. They sometimes they are lava beings. They can actually form themselves in lava itself and move through the tubes with the lava. Yeah, um, they. I'd like to just call them uh, like mineral fairies, I guess is kind of what I get the aspect of like mineral fairies. Thank you.
Eric said, do we need help to free them? Yeah, I got the notion that they did not like the term they did not like the term goblins, but I don't Vincent was the one that channeled them, so I was like, I'm not super familiar with them other than what Vincent has shared. Um, yeah, I like the pictures. Thank you for sharing that. So what I'd like for us to do is, before we decide where we want to go, because I'd like for us as a group to kind of decide what's most resonant, I'd like for us to kind of um, meet up together. And there's a couple options which I always bring up. You can meet up with us in the Sun's Radiance room, which is typically like the most resonant, or your own personal sanctuary. Sometimes I like to use the Tachyon chamber that's at the center of the Milky Way galaxy if it's a much more kind of galactic frequency. And I'm getting, and I would love, if you have something come through, just unmute and share. We're co-channeling, even if it's something initially. But I'd like for us to basically settle in. There's some attunement as well that we're kind of like weaving. I had mentioned also in the Telegram too that, and when we started this call as well, I'd like for us to start bringing through more consciously our group telepathy as a council. So deep channeling council, stream of consciousness. We've been working together, I would say, consciously, but mostly subconsciously or unconsciously with group telepathy. But I'd like to kind of bring that through as essentially a higher frequency form of communication, especially like on calls like this, where we will be kind of in the archives, codexes. It allows us like a more, I guess, real-time transmission. We can talk, but we can have several conversations going. We can speak. We can share via telepathy if you're aligned or open, and if not, that's okay. Every single person here is high frequency, weaving in your own personal sovereignty, always. And I'm curious to hear like what is most resonant for, and it doesn't have to be these 4 vaults that I mentioned. I wanted to kind of use something, at least at first, that's a little bit familiar. Because as we build out this field, or as we build out this grid together, and I'm just kind of seeing it in a way, gaining access to the other vaults, which aren't as familiar, will be much more easier, resonant. Tell me if that feels true to you. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Okay. Sending healing to the water beings in the Gulf area. Moon Vault, that's a good one. Vault grid harmonized photographically. Yeah, did anybody else have any thoughts? Absolutely. Open to hearing suggestions. Breakdancing vault, also valid. Kiana arfo kiana tiana sutuku shin kiana takara arfo kishoto kono to shinya tana arfo kiana. Also, just for the purposes, I want to confirm, affirm. If you're much more in the, and I typically say this every stream of consciousness, if you're much more a person who is working in the field or working in the grids, that is extremely, extremely valuable for what we're bringing through today. So thank you so much for doing that. I like the, you guys tell me, how do you feel about starting at the moon vault? It's pretty close, actually, if you're sitting in the sun's radiance room. Well, I guess I'm not close. It's close energetically, but as far as like linear physical distance, I guess it'd be much closer if you were just sitting here on Earth and accessing the vault itself. Let's do that. And I feel like we're still I I feel like there's definitely some like a calibration. If you are feeling the need to calibrate a tune, you can do that. You can work directly with there's a couple ways. Your own council, the deep channeling council that is kind of assisting us, kind of like a higher dimensional council as well too. I'm curious to hear, maybe Lenny, I don't know if have you accessed this vault before, or because
Well,
I'm looking.
yeah. So what's kind of coming through the field in terms of logistically for a pathway, a possible pathway, and we can, obviously choose our own path, but I'm seeing like a golden stream of energy that's weaving through sort of different vault locations, and it's almost being shot through like an arrow. And I'm seeing like what's it called? Half horse, half man.
The Centaur,
Thank you. Thank you.
like that galaxy, or
Um, I mean, could be that's where the golden energy is originating from, but I'm just seeing like a thread of this golden energy, kind of moving from one vault to the next as we move. Maybe we're meant to move individually through the vaults. Maybe there's something that needs to be harmonized there, or we're sharing pieces with each one. Collecting some as well as giving some. Um, but in terms of the moon vault, it's something that has presented itself to me recently, like in the last few days, in terms of just clearing, is not the right word, alchemizing and transmuting different layers of moon infrastructure. And I just feel like there's a vault at the core of that architecture that could be ready to be seen now that those layers have been processed. So I haven't specifically tapped into a vault there. I'm just kind of being shown that there's a possibility for that.
yeah, that definitely. I'm glad you said the golden thread, because I was getting a ping, but you put words to it that there are like the vaults are connected, and I don't know how many we'll get to today before we run out of time. But each person is kind of getting kind of what they need from each vault. The purpose that originally had come through for me was that there are, things that we are individually retrieving, remembering, accessing, um, but also it's a group effort and a collective. So there's like different layers to it. Um, I was I'm just kind of looking for an access point as well too, specifically for the moon, and um, I could definitely see that confirming the thread as well. Erica confirmed the centaur.
Uh,
Um,
Check for an octopus, maybe. Octopus feels like it maybe knows where the door is.
okay. Also, I wanted to say too, if you guys need any mission logs, feel free to. I typically work with Seth and Dave, so if you need access to any of the mission logs, or if you feel like you're needing something specifically for the Moon Vault, you can go ahead and key that up now. Okay, I got such it's such light in color too. It's like light pink with aqua. I don't know what this color is. Yeah, you know how octopuses can octopi? I don't know. They can squeeze themselves into really small areas, and this one is leading me up like a shaft, I guess. Yeah, because I was swirling around the moon, and I'm just I guess for the purposes of visualization, I'm flying around it. I'm technically doing it actually, but I was looking for an access point around, and then I spoke with the octopus, and he was showing me this shaft. So if that's useful to you, feel free to unmute and share what else is coming through. Hmm. And you can go via astral, etheric body. You can remote view it if you want to. You can tag along with one of us if that's helpful. Um,
Yeah, like for me, because of the eclipse, it is shown to me like the ring of gold that is surrounding the eclipse and well, the light on the moon. So because of that ring of golden light around the moon, it kind of showed its etheric space. And because it's showing its etheric field or space, we can access that space, that etheric space of the moon. So I don't know if this is what we need or not, but this is what I see.
no, I like you for sharing that. Um, get off. I was led to I think I don't know if there's anything that we really necessarily need. Again, it may be for everybody. It may be for somebody in particular. It may just be something fun, like for your inner child. Like my inner child's just playing this game essentially of like, hey, I want to get there and I want to kind of collect my prize. If that's a much more fun way to do it. I was essentially led after the octopus showed me. I just went there to this space. I'll describe what I'm seeing, and you kind of work with what works for you. It's on the inside. I'll call it like a central room. It reminds me of like the Death Star. You know how like from Star Wars, it's like a hollow metal container. And then I found this room on the inside that I was led. I'm not really paying attention to anything else around it. The room is like it's dark. It's darker lit. It's not very well lit. It's a combination of like physical books and digital when I see it. There's also some scrolls too. Like I'm kind of looking around and I'm picking up like large, like obnoxiously large parchment papers. There's like a computer, so I just basically keyed up something on that and I'm like letting that run. I don't have I can't necessarily describe the physical details. I can just kind of tell you like what I'm seeing and what I'm doing personally. But this is every single person's choose your own adventure. But if you want to, and I can essentially, if it's helpful to you rather, you can kind of use my frequency as a location to kind of get yourself there energetically and join me in that space.
Something that's
Also,
coming up. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You, you're good. Finish your thought.
my thought was something else. It's a precursor to what's coming. But go ahead. You're good.
Okay, got it. Tiyashaka ana aya ana asikiaka ana yashukotoria and yasaka yashukotoria so something that has been presented to me about the moon in the past is that it has been sort of an anchor point and linked to like the architecture of the reincarnation like paradigm. And so, with the transmutation that's happening, I believe that we are moving past and beyond that as the moon sort of up levels itself and evolves out of that limited structure. And so that was the first kind of relevant piece that popped in. And I also I received this beautiful new deck that I'll show you um, recently, and it's the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And so actually I've been kind of pulling cards all day, but this one is sticking out to me in a very loud way. It's a 22, The Ghost Dance. So I was reading the book, and I don't know how much of from the guidebook is relevant to like what we're doing. I'll read the whole thing in case there's relevant pieces for anybody listening, but um, it talks about the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons as gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. The ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. The invitation is to create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. Their medicine brings liberation and new harmony. If you're trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, for example, mourning a lost youth or opportunities missed, it is time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. Be wary of being snared in relationships with someone from a past lifetime, as the people we loved or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives, and there is no learning for you there anymore. So kind of what I'm getting from that is we're moving as we move up the octaves, we are honoring the integration of the lessons that we've learned from those stories of the past, and we are liberating ourselves with the empowerment to create a new story by writing it into our conscious lives, into our behavior, into our belief systems, and really just embodying that which we seek in life, that which we aim to be, that which we are ready to anchor and honor and breathe through in a way. So I'm not sure what that has to do with vaults, but maybe a level of like honoring for the ancestors in the past lives and all of the lessons, and really truly coming into harmony with those aspects of um, ourselves, of our lineages, of I just heard galactic royalty, um, to really work together to embody that new story that is anchoring here, and that we have chosen to walk the path through in physical form. So I'm just imagining myself sort of um, building a bit of sacrament isn't the right word, but I don't know why that was at tip of tongue.
Because like I think with that red the blood moon that came in, like I think we're adding color back into the moon, bringing in with the lower, starting with the lower colors like the red, and it's cleansing that from it. You know, like I'm like I was seeing. The beings were carrying these golden brooms that were just sweeping the cobwebs out of the corners, like bringing, like each one of us is bringing a certain color of light to this area. And yeah, feeling lot of like energies of like the like how Earth began is like there was a lot of elementals on the Earth organizing, working with the Mother of Creation to bring out like new beings of life, making it like uh, it's like I'm being shown like lining up the bookcases for the library, basically of Earth, but like as the moon itself being its own entity, bringing it online as an entity instead of being so tied to Earth itself. Like I think it was being used and distorted, and tying, like there was, like I think there's a chain we need to break from Earth to the moon that allows it to be its own entity. I know it's going to stay tidally locked to the Earth, but I think it gives it freedom. We're bringing in freedom to this vault, and the light language from the fairies is going to come in and and bringing, they were fluttering around like hummingbirds and just stirring up dust, and there was something there eating the dust. It was kind of funny. I liked it.
That's beautiful. I was seeing that chain that you mentioned almost turning into a golden like fuse in a way, and like it was dissolving from there, it was like the fuse was getting short, like and then I started to see fireworks, and something about the frequency adjustment of the colors that you mentioned was pinging me too, because we talk about, um shifting octaves, but a lot of times I think we think of octaves as primarily music, which it also is, but I was starting to think of octaves as colors as well. And so it's almost like that shift between like watching a black and white TV to all of a sudden like a color TV, like, and it becomes Technicolor. And then I think there's something holographic that has to do with that. And then with bringing in the records, it's almost like up leveling our understanding of records themselves by bringing in, the harmonized histories of our galactic families, and inviting a safe place for them to live as we continue to understand, expand our understanding of who we are, and what it is that we're doing here. So that was a beautiful transmission. Thank you, Vincent.
Yeah, I wrote mine into the chat, and thank you for all those shares too. I'm kind of working, and I know this harmonizes the language essentially. I'm kind of working multidimensionally, so I'm sending. One of the things was like, if you are aligned to this, you can send ahead an aspect to kind of move forward from where you're at. But the mountains were coming through, which sent me to Chaco, the Chaco Canyon Vault, which sent me into a very large ancestral. Oh, hey, Jameen, a very large ancestral, a massive tree, kind of like a tree of life, but this tree is alive. This tree is incarnated. This tree it's huge, like it's massive. And from that vault, essentially, if you can picture a tree flipped upside down and growing into the inner earth, I don't know if that makes sense. So it went mountains to Chaco Vault to huge, alive, incarnated, massive tree. And the colors I'm seeing is kind of what Vincent had described too, growing upside down into the inner earth. And then I'm seeing the branches themselves has, like, if you imagine like a, I don't know, a dewdrop. If you picture a dewdrop, right, and then you pictured your reflection inside of this dewdrop, but like hundreds of thousands of those. So there's like a bunch of different elements playing. There's like earth, sand, water. Okay, cool. And if there's anything left for you on the moon, definitely feel free to retrieve whatever is left for you. If you need to send ahead an aspect too, if you're like, if your inner child is excited and wants to progress, definitely feel free to do that. We don't all necessarily need to be together. I just want to kind of. That's interesting. Tell me more about that. But if you're aligned to move through the mountains into the Chaco vault, or you're aligned much more to an inner earth, I don't even know how to describe this ancient tree. It's definitely alive, definitely connected into the grids in a way. I mean, dude, there's so many colors.
Well, when you first started talking about the upside down tree, I instantly thought of lungs and like the connections between like I don't know upper and lower and the connection between the lungs and the heart and um I recently was with a group that was looking at the dynamics of Greenland and shifting some things there and I was called to we were kind of called to replicate the energy of Mount Kailash and sort of bring a copy with us over and hover over Greenland. And then we planted a tree on the underside. Like if you were to slice off the top of the mountain, for example, like we planted a tree on the underside of Mount Kailash, so it was growing downwards towards the earth, exactly just how you described. So that was a big confirmation for me as well. But a lot of the work that I'm seeing be plentiful in those spaces have to do with primordial fire, like solar consciousness, bringing that down, as well as primordial waters, bringing it up through the earth. And there's some kind of alchemization that happens with that. That reminds me a bit of the double vortex because you're bringing water up this way and then you're bringing solar down this way. They sort of meet in the middle, but then they also cross over each other and it creates this harmonized I was gonna say bridge, but it's like a channel for flow, for information, for whatever it is. And when you were talking about the moon, I just happened to glance at this card of water, which is a 61. It reminds me of Erica, so I don't know if this is resonating for Erica at all, but there was just something about bringing up the primordial waters almost through the chain that was just dissolved from the Earth and towards the moon, which is many layers to that because it's like the Earth's ability to extend her capacity beyond and into further spaces. And so by sharing that with the moon, but also the moon's like capacity as oh, I was gonna say magician. Is the moon a magician? I don't know, aren't we all in some way? So it was like the earth and the moon kind of working together in tandem to the moon calling up the primordial waters through the earth and like kind of reestablishing that beautiful co-creation frequency between them where it's been so rigid for so long for a lot of different reasons. And so that's where I was getting kind of the primordial waters coming through and then I also see that golden thread coming from the sun and kind of looping back around and almost coming back in through that channel as I, described that sharing of yeah, the frequencies like merging through each other. So that was really beautiful too.
Definitely hearing about something about solar system primordial water, like original template water is on the moon. Um, but like, yeah, and I also was drawn to Kailash because like I feel like there is a portal that is inside the vault of like Mount Kailash itself that like it I always get the Lyrans come in when I mention this, like, and I feel like it's tied to like Lyra somehow, and that like it's in a temporal time a distortion vortex right now or something that like I'm not sure how to like. I think we need to add something, add an energy to it to like break that temporal time loop of some sort to like allow like the Lyra, it to connect back to Lyra for some reason. So yeah, I'm doing something there with that to bring that in. Definitely with that tree, I definitely feel that tree is an anchoring point, as it like is definitely tying into the minerals and to the core of Gaia herself, as like her desire to reconnect to Lyra itself, like the tree of life that extends out of the etheric tree of life that extends out of Mount Kailash, reaches um, like a few star systems. At the main tip of it is Lyra itself. Like I can feel it branching to Sirius also, and Delphine. I'm not sure. Like I think that's close to Sirius, but there's something else, and oh, yep, a little bit to Arcturus. Like I think it's a weaving of those three energies there. I'm seeing it like each one is like a bulb on a Christmas tree above the mountain itself that extends into like the universe, and like at that tip of that bulb is where like that wavering connection is holding. It can hold steady if we add our energy. I don't know who needs to add energy to it, but like let's if anybody else has anything that they'd like to bring into that, that'd be great.
I can add. Kukia kata, kia kata, shikina katori katari kata, shikina kata, shikina katu, shikotayo. Komiako saria, kia kakahyushu habeto tabiato, parona kotataya konakataya. Kritaya, koshumia, koshiaka na haiya, kushuya, mia, kosimia, mia, kotari katato, tieto, takonakataya, kato, tieto, ki. Yushukia, kwa. Yako ikia shukia no hayokaso kia kotia kone katayako. Kimiako sekanakataya kashikiata kayaka kahurita. Pia shohyakia kia kamiato. Piapo tayo kiyu. The time warp. Kanikotaya kashikia kataya kanikatu shikini katia no nanakata. Ta 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 ta. Kurita papapata tanakatia to kamiako shakiana kato shakira kataya kanakata 7 realms kanikatari katari katatia katakata katatia toto piama mamana kata shukina kataya katoto toto hayu karo kata prita pama makata kuyako shikiani ka shukia katata ya kashakiro kotoya mamana no kato kuniako kano kata hamana na yakashuya korito taritaria makataya pukoto oui, je quoi. Riha kya kiena kasi kene ketia taya pia pototaya manana na hashi kena kataya kotori kataya kena kataya kena kototayo yashostat tieta totatuina tatatieta taya kataya kita tatatata tatieto kya katatatieto karikotatoya korito kanyo kasho. Heapato kiamiato hamiato. Titi tutotato shia mia hurita niato kamia memenando kotatiato. Habiato kiako shiki kato kikato kiamia kokia kotatiato kakiata katia kya horita. Hoya mia yo. Kika ko kiki shukia kato da prita mia koshunyana haya kotiato haya kataya kayu shukia titi. Pikato pato yakushi pia konako shikyako kiki kokikata tieto takatiato kamiyako shikit katari katatori kato para kotobrita tatata kuana hashuna koshuyato parita Omana na shikya katatia takamia mana kushka mana kateaka kokoko peko ya haikata sikata kikoko piko shoteo. I think I'm complete.
I'm hearing something about the. I keep hearing crown jewel, and it feels like diamond frequency. It's like it's like restoring our crown jewel has something to do with our third eye too, and that's probably not the complete picture because I see layers of it. But earlier I was hearing something about the diamond frequency, but I heard the apple of my eye. So I'm not sure how the apple relates there, but with all of these layers coming in, I'm also being drawn to a couple of different cards with the galactic frequencies coming in. This one's called the Heart of Sky. It's a 24, and I don't know how well you can see the detail of this card, but there's so many layers here because she's got a full moon in her third eye space, but she's also got the earth kind of above her crown, and there's like some kind of it's like really multi-dimensional whatever's happening here because it looks very quantum, it looks very mycelium to me, it looks very holographic. And there's definitely layers within layers. There's like a trajectory of this golden thread. Oh my gosh, this is the chain that just dissolved too, because you can see the moon, and then it's kind of projecting up as a golden thread into this portal here, and then coming in towards the Earth as well. So there's many layers of that galactic frequency coming in also, but a little bit earlier I was drawn to this other card for a similar reason where it's got the Earth as her third eye and the full moon kind of in her crown space. So there's something happening with that mirrored I don't know if duality polarity is really the right way to word that, but the mirrored reflection of the sharing space and the kind of the dancing with each other frequency wise. Um, I also think it's interesting that this character has like a map of the continents and their face paint is very kind of earthly colored, and the galactic one, hers is more purple, and there's just like I don't know, there's some lots of threads going on here. The other thing I was getting was that she holds the full moon, like this is her crown jewel. The fullness and the empowerment is within embodied, but then there's a half kind of crescent moon over here, and so something about the combination of the full empowerment within paired with kind of the cycles without. So if this is kind of going around her, it's like the full embodiment of the whole paradigm in a way. And then this water card also has some of those similar aspects where it's like there's a moon kind of at the top, but then if this is the earth, it's like encapsulated in this water frequency almost as a barrier. It feels like a frequency barrier that is also partly being embodied by our planetary system and maybe all the planetary systems as we move into these upper echelons, into the higher octaves, into the embodied wisdom, the universal records, the unified records. Um, our our fully embodied heart, like our true heart, our true galactic heart, perhaps. There's a lot of layers coming through with all of that, and I really appreciate Genevieve showing the snow landscape here because when we were talking about the primordial waters, I was thinking bring on the rain, but it was almost like it was a little bit of an abstract thought, but it was almost like as if the water's coming from the moon and raining down on us or something. And then that's what drew me to kind of this water card. It was almost like embodying the primordial aspects that we kind of forgot over the cycles of time.
One of the things that I saw while you were speaking about that is like structure and how like the mimic of our bodies have this structure too, is like that, like as we start to grow, like from conception, like we have our veins that start to make the structure of our body. Then we have our nervous system that is surrounding that. And then we have our lymph system that surrounds our muscles and bones. And these are very important structures of like movement of energy. It's a fairly masculine thing. And like the muscles and bones and the structure of the rest of your body is like a fairly feminine thing. I'm not sure like why that was coming in, but I feel like there's something important about like how each one of those systems has like an aspect of like a masculine aspect to it and a feminine aspect to it. But like if you took one of those structures away, like it wouldn't, none of it would work. None of it would be there. So I think it's like establishing that like um, bonding and rejection theme where we're like, we need to bond in what is like the correct structure of like what is holding this together, and like make sure we're like allowing our guides and like other beings to work in the ethereal to remove structures that don't, like like cancerous cells. Like I feel like there's a few of those like cancerous cells within some of the structures and like the places that we're going. Like in each vault, there's things that need to be removed, but there's also structures that like are woven through it that we need to shine light onto. Sorry, that's what came through for me.
Nice. Okay, I want to share here. I got something, and again, it may not be for this call, but I definitely want to name it because it's something that's coming through very loudly. Sun vault, interesting. I love that. I'm gonna write that one down. Sun vault. This is in particular one of the spaces that I had named and that we've been chatting about kind of in Telegram off and on is this inner earth, like deep inner earth to me, space that Alunia had talked about. I've channeled this council back whenever, it's been a while now since we did the Antarctica call 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this council is essentially the, what did I call it? Collective of Humanity Council, and they're in this inner earth. To me, it's like a vault. It's a cave, essentially. It is interdimensional, but it's also a location within inside the earth. And as we were talking earlier, I think it was Lenny was talking about the primordial waters. There was a water being that came forward who was there, who presented, and I was like, oh, hello, high five. And then we were talking about mycelium earlier, and the quantum mycelium came through, and essentially what I was told, and the mycelium themselves are a sentient consciousness. Like there's no, being there. They're consciousness themselves, very multidimensional. But as we're passing through, so this is like I'm basically like being led to approach and like drawn towards this vault space, towards this area that we're talking about. And again, I'm just going to name it. We don't need to necessarily visit there right now, but passing through the primordial waters, and I wrote down here kind of like a cleansing and purification through and into the quantum mycelium network themselves, and then approaching this interdimensional space. And what they shared with me is that you can go individually. So Aluna has approached it individually. I'm looking from afar. I'm not going there. But what they shared, what that council had shared, is that when we're ready with our councils, essentially, that there is something that we can essentially we can unlock together as a council. So I'm just going to kind of name it and say, hey, this is what came through, and then confirming back at Kailash specifically, like crown jewel, throne came through. I was being shown like a room in a space too within Kailash, and this has come through. I think JJ's brought this through before, but other people have talked about this space within Kailash. It's like a room, but there's like the walls are lined with like these chalices, and I don't know how to. They can look like whatever you want. Oh, what's Johnny got there? Bark. But that room, the throne that I was mentioning, the crown jewel, and I think some other people mentioned something specific about, like it was focused, like I was drawn to this room, this line with like these chalices as well too, and then I was kind of sending my awareness out to the areas that Vincent was naming. So that's what I got for now. Thank you. I'm complete. Yeah, I was being shown like you can drink. Like I didn't really want to name it because it wasn't like something for me, but it was like I was watching people drink. Like I don't know if it was primordial water. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I was watching them drink from this chalice, and like the throne is like within that room. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but that's just what I was being shown. I'm not super attuned to Kailash too, so it's kind of like you know.
So the Mount Kailash is like the central vault and it connecting to all the other vault. And it might means the blood. So we had the Anunnaki and the reptilian manipulation that changed our blood. So we are right now we are transfiguring the blood. So I have like a special blood, and also my twin flames English name is like Charles. So it's like we are transmuting humanity's blood. Something like that maybe. But my twin flame's name is like Charlie. It means Charles. So I'm always like connected to the Holy Grail thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking Vincent was talking yesterday about drinking the sun. So what I'm seeing in this context about the chalice is like something about the primordial sun coming in through that portal and then drinking like Gaia drinking it into her grids or something like that.
Yeah, I was getting that all these portals are activated by the sun through and go through each sun from each solar system that they are connected through, connecting through plasma tunnel. Like I'm seeing plasma tunnels of vortexes, each one of them connecting through it and bringing in like, the
Yes,
information. And yeah, go ahead.
the the Earth. So the Earth is a center point for ascension. The whole Milky Way galaxy, each stargate all connected to the sun in different constellation. So it's all connected like a stargate. And so I'm both sun goddess and also moon goddess. So the sun is sending the like solar codes, and the moon is like pulling the primordial water towards the moon. So it's just create this push and pull of the solar light and the primordial water, make them like all working together. And then we sending all of this from Earth to the whole Milky Way galaxy through all the stargate. And also to rebalance. So the moon is also representing the divine feminine. So
Mm,
our is to the symbolic meaning of the freed moon is also to make the divine feminine, to liberating the divine feminine to be equal to the divine masculine. So I'm like I'm both sun goddess and the moon goddess to balance the
I love that. One of the things that just came through here too was, you guys tell me if this feels resonant to you. I don't know why it came through, but I feel like individually we're drawn to a vault. Like you're more aligned, or you're more like frequency-wise, you're connected to a vault. So I was almost wondering like if each one of us go to the vault that we feel connected to, and then we can kind of almost like connect or grid ourselves together to form that kind of like golden thread energy that Lenny was had brought through, because it feels like the sun, like I'm going back through the sun, like, you know, because our sun is, all the suns are connected back to source. So I was just kind of like walking my way back, but I feel like maybe we could extend that golden thread into the vaults if we all pick a vault that you feel most aligned to, and we can double up if you want to, and you can even like leave an aspect on another vault too. So let me know if that feels resonant or yeah, lighting up the grid vault. I like that. Infuse, yeah, absolutely. Kind of what Vincent was sharing too with the sun. So if you guys want to, and you don't have to, of course. Like if you're much more aligned to hold the field or the grid. I'm in particular, I feel drawn to that kind of like inner Earth vault. I have a good idea of like where it is, and I'm like close to it energetically and attunement wise. So that's where I'm feeling called to. So I'm gonna kind of hold the field there. If you guys want to key up and let us know what you're feeling aligned to, and no pressure whatsoever.
I see teams of councils kind of joining us in this because I think we're all gonna pick, whatever location or area or grid or field or quantum space or whatever that feels most aligned for us personally. But I also see different aspects anchoring in different planetary cores, in different, sun cores, star system. It's like it's literally lighting up the whole, like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you're aligned to, choose a vault, and this is kind of like an attunement for us and a cal for us as well too. And feel free to fire up if you are open to receive and transmit that group telepathy as well too. I think there's some value in that. Heart coherence is coming through as well.
I feel share to John to share some light codes. So Dum darin darain darain darasarendra Grum rum darizim drai drizundraya Kurusar narai dzirendruk tenezretrea Kumnara sindrek dirazanaria Grum dira drizrain kroya Grum draya kaya sindra Andere surundakara Arsioktu. Feeling like we are guardians of this earth and to bring to the light more of the vaults. We are clearing and also taking more place as the true guardian of this earth. Thank you.
I'll bring in some light codes to back that up for sure. Shitu Sushnak light at Urtuku Chuchu Risteke etidentuku ana Ristete etu Urtuku Uchucha echene Kutu utu urtaka achete urtaka anachache etu utusu Shishu Roko ana Tu urutsto ada na ada urtu uhuk arsaka ata ana ka urutsto ka itu urutsto urata na urata kiki urutsa na gigus hiri urutsto urata ana ka ada urtu ojata sisi tu urus kiki ada na ka arta usura arashe yo ta kan chichi urutsta Cici urut ka ai o tu ka cici ada ara ajiwa e yo si ai ti na ara sa ara ta akakuwa I'm complete.
I shifted my angle because there were some flower coats that wanted. I don't know how well you can see kind of this area here is a big jumbotron where I'm located physically currently, but there were some flower codes and then there were some fish codes and then it turned into sea coral and then there were more fish and now there's like a dude scuba dive. So there's like also a lot of other holographic stuff wanting to come in and assist with this. So just allowing the space for Yakanai, Yasaki, Yakanai, all of our guides, helpers, friends, councils, Yashikatani, Yasi guardians, Yashikati, Yakata ancestors, native tribes, Yashikoto across time and space and beyond, Yasiki, Yakanai, Yasiki, Yakanai, Yashikotori, Yasakatai, Yashikotori, Yasiki. Tribal drum, Yasakati, Yashika rituals, dances from the heart, yes, kata, yashiko, the heart song, song lines, yashikiti, yakati, yashikoto, through the galactic and universal mycelium networks as well, but yashuka carrying the frequencies, yashikoto, yasiki, yashikoto, sakati, from high councils far and wide. Landing in the waters within us. Harmonizing the architecture of all time constructs, bridging frequencies from the pure realms of consciousness and love, golden frequencies, anchoring crystalline technology coming in as well. Grounding and anchoring with joy and love. Yes, and play. Inner child play. Dance like no one's watching. Frequency. Embodying the true frequency of our heart song, beyond all time and space, beyond all illusion, beyond all of the stories that kept us safe for a time. Honoring those memories and harmonizing them with compassion. Resolving all difficult frequencies of all kinds into higher love. And allowing the dance of our eternal, infinite selves to unfold organically, naturally, beautifully, without resistance. I'm complete.
I like your window view. It's like a holographic of things that we are working on.
It's like a perfect example of like things in the external field kind of bridging, coming in and synchronizing perfectly. The only thing I don't like is I'm kind of in front of this iron wall that looks like a prison, so releasing all prisons of any kind and liberating all souls across all that is. And so it is. Oh, and here's Mount Kailash. How beautiful.
I just got in the like that mountain that I put in the group in the chat is like a sister to Mount Kailash, I guess. The Mount Shuksan here in Washington, so is a sister to Mount Kailash. There's a vault there too. It's more connected to the Palladians.
I can share some light language. I think I'm connected with an inner earth council right now. Apiato ka orato a o I a o yesi a mia kosi a miato kiato kiana kiyoshu kota kiato, weaving peace and harmonics. Kamieto kako kuishu kwa kia Diatayaka. There's a dragon, council of light. Orito miasiato kanokata. Milky Way galaxy core, central galactic core. Kurata lukota umyanya kasiana iakosiato kya bia I'm seeing the flowers. Kupieto pieta se a ia o aya sejotaya. There's a timeline convergence on is it a convection or a conduction? Kwa shuputi toti a iani a shu the angelics. Yaminanianene esi ako apieta hi apieto sotamiana ai oi yasumiana retribution, justice, kaya supiato iania suapotaya pato kiana kasa the solar ice caps koniako sonia kania kata yakakatola kato Kianiaka shakokato yakoshekia na hayako kakrita kanikata shekena katake katateata komiako katatate kakakakiko kana katayako bio yap 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 kakakakakikakakokokokokoko Iyako yako shio ya shokya yaka 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 ya shokya nakataya. The evergreen harmonics, the whales are coming through. Happy 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 top yip top yip to kanaka sote nakata shokyeto, targeting the Antarctic region. Kunakata yakishikyeto the freedom and the justice codes. Kimya kanakata yakanakatia totian manakata shikinakata penguins kanakotaka. Supiapato parita hamiano sho hamiano tato tapetota tapia avian angelics kamiana kata sikanakata hikako hapia so yapiotota scarab sacred beetle kamiakota shukinakata kianakatia tota pietoparu tatuya kota shukinaka ladybug kanakatu shikinakata chachota the insect kingdom kanakotarita mianana haso kamiatotori tota the hieroglyphs kanakato it's like the kind of like the insects in amber, but it's not necessarily amber, but they're like in the tree sap, preserved. This has to do with genetics. The biological harmonic embrace. Kayo kasue bia bia shopia bia 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 sotayo kiato kiana kataya kiana. I'm feeling like strong Pele energy. Kuna kantore tota kurito like volcanic mountain grids. Kunika shukiana kata shikiato kaniota piato piato piapa, connecting all of these various connection points. Kanikota shukiana katia shukana kata. This harmonized justice, the counterbalance to the injustice, experienced on this earth, this life plane, aurora borealis, the southern and the northern lights and the hemispheres, the hemisphere convergence, mirroring the human brain, the conjoining of the parts. Yes, this has to do with the vaults. Primordial earth. For all is interconnected. Interwoven. Piano gosho kinakatoshi kinakata lyra kunaka piana hoha piato hapia piasa kanikata so kiana kato sa tieta kurita yami kushi kitatia toto humnians kunakata katamana katoshi kumanakata tetana kata teto tayo toto kotia kotayo kinakatai kanakata avians peacekeeper kanakata kanako timelines, grids, harmonization, I'm seeing like the Merkaba, the sacred geometric patterns of the Merkaba Kunakataya Kishikiatota, the planetary light body Kanakatia Tanekataya Kunakata Sarakata Koshikinakatia Koshia Kotaya Kunakataya Kanakataya Kashikinakatai avian convergence Kania Shuhio Yam no Manane Tatari Katara Kataya Katoshikinakatia Takatita Tatatia Koshikinakataya Kashakanata Hayo Karikata shikinakata. They keep coming back to the ice caps. Kakiakoka, miato hamiamanaka, kamanakata, katata polar bears, kurakato shikinakatito, kushukito tamiata, shukinakataya, kanakataya, kanakatia tota shukanakuto. Piotata lighting up the grids, activation kanakashi, kiani hisho, shosho, hatota, miano, kanoka, shukanakataya, kanakatia tatayata. Rita Aurora grid lines, Komya, Sanya, Kashia, Hia, Hayam, Now, Rito, South, Rita, Rehesia, Jofio, Plato, Pata, Yani, Keshia, Tia, Koshukiato, Tayo, Bayo, Kyako, Golden Ones, Kanakataya, Shoya, Kama, Hamana, Hanianana, Koshia, Patiamia, Honia, Harita, Retata, iridescent white light, pearlescent. tayo ka plasma kanikata kushue toto blah 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 blue ray light kami kotaya kanakataya kanikata shukinakataya kanakata krita krito krito rainbow avian rainbow luminescent kina hashu kanaka pegasus kanakato sibiatataya dragons kanakataya kashike kakako habiato seraphim dragons kaniake shikinikiti encasing the earth now kanakutori totayu katayo kinakataya kanakataya kanakataya Koi shikoto toya kashwakotra shwashwashwashwashwashwashwashwashwashukieta shokiato kushuko seeing the earth as a vault kanakataya kashukanakataya katataya katatata kukokataka kikata everlasting life kanakatayo kanakata kata eternal grid lines kinakia shakanakatia kana hopya kanika shokianakata rainbow grid lines kanikashi kinakataya kanakata Kurito piato tane kashi katia toha yukosho kia kotayo kano koteo kotashu kana kotayo kono kotayo kushuke koto. So you can claim what's yours. Everlasting peace. Kanakataya kanakata. You can claim this now. Kana kotayo kana kota from these faults. Kanakata. Kurita hamiana kashi kianakata tatata. The ice faults. Kanakata tatata. The melting underneath the ice. Kanakataya kanakataya katatatiata. The polar ice caps. Kanakataya kanakataya kanakata katata. A warm welcome you in. Kanakatia shukina kataya kashukanakatia. Krito miakushia miaha yuko yukapiato yakushukia kataya katatata shakanote totatoteato payukanu yashukwa hamiakiana kataya kutayu kanakatayu kanakatata. The ancient ones kanakataya kashikinakataya welcome you in. Kanakataya hamiana kashikiatata Lemurian kiakakota kiakashatoshokota tarukateato Pirota Parita, Lemurian ancient ones, Kanakashi, Hamia, Katoshi, Kanakataya, Krakata. Welcome the conversions point now. Kanakatai, Shukanakatiata, Kanikasha, Kakakoto, Katata, Shukia, Kataya, Katata, Kashukiato, Kashu. I'm seeing something like Rapidash, the Pokemon. So it's like a fire unicorn. Kotayo, Kotayo, Kinakatayo, Kinakatayo, Kashukinakatiata, Tinakata, Kinakataya, Kushukinakatayo, Karitata, Glory be kanikatari katarita karita 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 the starlight frequency joins konikatia katia shuhya purito parita nakasi nakata uke tuta no kashu ato shukia no hapoto kya koka the barrier is broken kamia kana kani kashu kira kataya kana kataya kuruka tarita ta access point kana kata granted kana kashi kana katia tata kurita totality of the humanity of the kurita tarita tarida kata parita pietro tota patata tata kataya katatia to kapya kota Krita dragon kite kon me kada shu kota yan hane na kana katorita tapia to karuta taru teto. So you may access what is yours in these vaults now. And with that, I am complete.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. Very powerful. Amazing transmission. So dope. Well, if there are any last things you need to wrap up, individually, collectively, anything else from the vaults, any messages that need to be passed, asking those come through consciously in accordance with our intentions. You can have your record keeper step forward to update the records, download any mission logs as well. I typically send my mission logs to Seth and Dave. Akasha keeper can step forward to update the Akash. A lot of vault keepers. A lot of vault keepers. Yeah. Go ahead. Go for it. Before we end, I'd like to anchor this with everyone speaking at the same time for anyone who feels align. Yeah, before we do that, does anybody have any other final messages that they want to share with the crew? Anything else that came through from that transmission? Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre, for anchor us into nature, dude. It's always awesome. I love that. So good to see everybody again. Yeah, I was absolutely. Let's do it. Lenny, if you want to take over, lead us before we close out.
Just firstly expressing gratitude, for all of the many plentiful friends that have joined us today. The fire elementals, the fairies, the octopi, the ocean creatures. Seriously, so many to name. But all of our councils, guides, helpers, and friends, our vault keepers, golden councils, golden frequencies, octave keepers, shamanic wisdom, ancestors, indigenous cultures, the planetary spheres, as well as big special celebration for, with, and through the moon, moon councils. Inviting everyone who feels called to step forward and anchor completion frequencies, the empowerment and embodiment, codes and frequencies, templates, anchoring in our conscious awareness as we bring these embodiments forward into our day-to-day lives. The frequencies of the trees, the mountainscapes, the snow caps, as well as cityscapes, concrete jungles. Rainbow frequencies, coral landscapes. You see us standing in a circle, kind of holding hands, and not exactly singing "Kumbaya," but similar sentiment. Harmonizing all of our lessons, all of our records, and all of our learned wisdom across all that is. Anchoring in our multidimensional hearts. Lighting up the holographic universe. What an honor and a privilege. Sending gratitude to everyone listening to this call, as well as supporting it live. Thank you for weaving, sharing your inner wisdom, your codes, frequencies, and templates for the collective and all collectives. I'm hearing something about there being value in all of us speaking into the field together. So like as we're standing around this circle, I see almost golden codes coming out of each of us and like all coming together in the center and intertwining. So I'm just holding space to embody that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, did we want to unmute and speak some? Just to align? Yeah, let's do that. Feel free if you're aligned to do that.
True. Mapin take. Untragedian teklemes mre kadamir untares mreteno ukta simna ukta simina karin tukusuna ayata korosina na ekta kramin teresingre orta kansina yara naria tekteta yasinamna itara urgana kristanya ik ikartena rekna
Tia
sinigana
Hashem Kolekata Ushka.
Powerful. Thank you so much.
Blessings to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really happy to see everybody. Looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love you so much.
We did it so much today. Big celebration.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.